Hi, Rabbi Cohen's class, 7th and 8th grade boys. This is the final part of the Gemara, line 39 through 48. Last video was lines 12 through 39. I know it says 37, it meant 39. And this is line 39 to 48. So, the topic that the Gemara is dealing with here is a brand new topic. The question is, what is Mincha Gedola and what is Mincha Ketana? We know we pray Mincha in the afternoon, but the Gemara has two terms, Mincha Gedola, the big Mincha, and Mincha Ketana, the small Mincha. So let's understand these two concepts and see how it plays a role in understanding the Gemara. From line 39, first word on the line is Ad. We're starting from the fourth word, Ve'ezu. Ve'ezu hi Mincha Gedola. And what is considered Mincha Gedola? Ezu means what is, or which is. Which is Mincha Gedola? So the Gemara answers, Mincha Gedola means you have Gadol, a lot, big, a lot of time to pray. Mishesh Sha'os Umechza, from 6 hours and half, 6.5 hours into the day, which is on a normal day, let's say 12:30 p.m. if the sun rises at 6 a.m. Ulemala and onwards, so from 12:30 and on, that's the earliest time you can pray Mincha. It's called Mincha Gedola. That's the earliest time you can pray Mincha. That's when the sun begins to set, 12:30 p.m. Ve'ezuhi Mincha Ketana. And what is considered Mincha Ketana? Rashi explains, Mincha Ketana means not the time that you could pray Mincha. You can pray from 12:30, but it's when they would normally bring the korban of the afternoon, the tamid of the afternoon. That's called Mincha Ketana. They usually brought it around, let's see what time, Mitesha Sha'os Umechza Ulamala, from 9.5 hours into the day and onwards, which would be at 3:30 p.m. So yes, you can pray Mincha, or you can bring the korban of the afternoon tamid at 12:30. That's called Mincha Gedola. That's the earliest time, 12:30 p.m. But practically speaking, they didn't bring it that early. They brought it at the time of Mincha Ketana, which means there's a short amount of time until sunset, and that was 9.5 hours in. Why do we care about these times? We'll see right now. Ibai lahu, we're asking a question to them. Ibai is a question, lahu is to them. Rabbi Yehuda, when Rabbi Yehuda said, Plag Mincha, Kama Ka'amar? O Plag Mincha Achrona Ka'amar. When Rabbi Yehuda in our Mishnah said, you can only pray Mincha until Plaga Mincha, half of the Mincha time. What was he referring to? Which Mincha? Mincha Gedola, that's called Plag Mincha Kama. Kama means the first. Was he referring to the first Mincha, which is Mincha Gedola, 12:30 p.m.? Did he mean half of that? Half of that would be 12:30 to 6 p.m. Divide that by 2, would come out to 3:15 p.m. Was Rabbi Yehuda, when he said in the Mishnah, you can only pray till half of Mincha, Plaga Mincha, did he mean 3:15 p.m.? That's Plag Mincha Kama, half of the first Mincha, Mincha Gedola. Ka'amar, he said, O Plag Mincha Achrona Ka'amar. Or did he say half of the last Mincha, Plag Mincha Achrona, half of Mincha of the last one, which would be Mincha Ketana? So did he mean half of 12:30 to 6, that's Mincha Gedola, which would be 3:15 p.m. Rabbi Yehuda says you can only pray till 3:15, or no, Plag Mincha Achrona Kamar, the second Mincha, which only starts at 3:30. So what he really meant was half of that. Half of that is 4:45 p.m. From 3:30 to 6, that's 2.5 hours. Divided by 2 gets you to 4:45 p.m. That's the Gemara's question. We want to understand what Rabbi Yehuda meant when he said Plag Mincha in our Mishnah. So the Gemara answers very simply. Tashma, Rabbi Litton's band, come and listen. Titania, we learn in a Brisa. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, very clear, Rabbi Yehuda says, Plag HaMincha Achrona. I was talking about half of the last Mincha, which is Mincha Ketana. I was talking about half of that. From 3:30 till 6, I meant half of that, which is 4:45. And in case your math isn't so good, the Gemara does the math for you. Vehi, and it is Yud Aleph shows 11 hours. Yud Aleph is 11. Chaser minus Revia 1/4. So 11 hours minus 1/4 is 10 hours and 45 minutes. If you add 10 hours and 45 minutes to 6 a.m., which is when the sun rises, it gets you to 4:45 p.m. So bottom line is, when Rabbi Yehuda said Mincha, Plaga Mincha, he was referring to half of the later Mincha, Mincha Ketana, when they practically brought the Korban Mincha. That's good, that's Rabbi Yehuda. Good, now let's put that aside. Now we're starting a brand new topic. The Gemara now is going back to that last video that you probably saw, from lines 12 to 39. The Machlokas Rav Yossi and Rav Yeshua. Just to remind ourselves, Rav Yossi says the reason why we pray is because of our forefathers. That's Rav Yossi. Rav Yeshua says the reason why we pray is because we're trying to copy the Korbanos. They brought a Korban in the morning, we pray in the morning. They brought a Korban in the afternoon, we pray in the afternoon. They burn the Korban at night, we pray Marav at night. So the Gemara now says we have a knockout punch to Rav Yossi. Why? So before we read the Gemara, let's just explain outside. Each Amora, Rav Yossi and Rav Yeshua, had a Tana supporting them. But as we said in class many times, the Tana that was supporting Rav Yeshua, the Korbanos guy, was much, much, much stronger than the Tana supporting Rav Yossi. Because the Tana supporting Rav Yossi, all it said was, the forefathers once prayed. Well, so what does that have to do with us? Just because they prayed once, that doesn't mean that it's binding upon us. So the Tana supporting Rav Yossi is not very strong. All it says is that Avram prayed, Yitzchak prayed, Yaakov prayed. That doesn't mean we have to pray necessarily. So the Tana supporting Rav Yossi is very weak. But the Tana supporting Rav Yeshua that says we actually pray until the 4th hour because they brought the Korban in the 4th hour. Or we pray Mincha until sunset because they brought the Korban until sunset. We pray Marav until nighttime all night because they burned the Korban all night. That's a very, very strong proof. And the Gemara is so positive that that proof is a knockout punch that we start off right away knocking out Rav Yossi and supporting Rav Yeshua. Let's read inside. Nema tehave tiyufta de Rav Yossi. First word online is Nema. Let us say that tehave, it should be tiyufta, a knockout punch to Rav Yossi bar Chanina, to Rav Yossi bar Chanina, because again, there was a Tana supporting Rav Yeshua that said clearly that we pray because of the Korbanos, and the time that we pray is following the times of the Korbanos. That's a knockout punch to Rav Yossi. How could he possibly say that we pray because of our forefathers? It's clearly because of the Korbanos. Answers the Gemara for Rav Yossi. Amar lecha Rav Yossi bar Chanina. Rav Yossi bar Chanina would say back to you, Amar lecha, he would say to you, I have to change my position, Rav Yossi says. Le'olam, forever, Eima lecha, I will say to you, Tfilos avos tiknun. I'm sticking with my guns. The tfilos, the forefathers instituted. I'm not changing that. I'm not changing what I said. Oh, but you had a knockout punch against me that says it has to have something to do with korbanos. So I'll make an in-between stance. Ve'asmechinhu, and we leaned. Somech is to lean. Ve'asmechinhu rabbanan a korbanot, and the rabbanan leaned on the korbanos, which means to say that yes, the reason we pray is because Avram prayed, Yitzchak prayed, Yaakov prayed. That's why we pray today. I'm sticking with that. Our forefathers instituted tefillah. But the details about the tefillah, the hours that we pray, certain other laws about prayer, we do follow korbanos. So it's an in-between stance. Rav Yossi doesn't just say it's all about the forefathers at the end of the day. The forefathers instituted tefillah, but we still lean on the korbanos. We still base some of our rules on how the korbanos were brought, the morning, afternoon, and night, the fact that they were burning the korbanos. That's Rav Yossi's new stance at this point, and he proves it. De'i lo teima hachi, de'i, because if, lo, you do not, teima, say, hachi, like this, you have to say this. If you don't say like this, tfilas musaf, the prayer of musaf, Rav Yossi bar Chanina, for Rav Yossi, the son of Chanina, man tikna, who instituted it? Rav Yossi said Avram instituted the Shacharis, Yitzchak instituted Mincha, Yaakov instituted Maariv. Who instituted Musaf? Nobody. So Rav Yossi has to agree that Korbanos are important and Korbanos play a role. Why do we pray Musaf on Shabbos? Why do we pray Musaf on Rosh Chodesh? It's not because Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, there was no forefather that prayed. So why do we pray Musaf? It must be because of the Korbanos. That proves that Rav Yossi agrees to the fact that the Korbanos play a role. Ella, rather, Tfilos Avos Tiknum, our forefathers instituted them, but we still lean on the Korbanos for certain laws. So the conclusion is, the argument between Rav Yossi and Rav Yeshua is as follows. Rav Yossi does not just say it's all about the forefathers anymore. It's about the forefathers. They instituted Shacharis, Mincha, and Maariv. But we lean on Korbanos for certain laws. For example, when we pray. From Avram, I have no idea when we pray. We learn from Korbanos, we pray until the 4th or the 6th hour, depending on Rav Yehuda and Tanakama. We learn Musaf from Korbanos. There's no forefather that prayed that. But Rav Yeshua still sticks to his guns. He says it has nothing to do with the forefathers. It's all about Korbanos. That's the new understanding of the argument between Rav Yossi and Rav Yeshua. That's where the quiz will end. Have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and looking forward to seeing you soon.